Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, friends, countrymen, Romans, lend me your ear. It is time for the dynamic duo to do what we do every week. Every week. It's the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It's the Gentleman Jack. It's the Midnight Rider. We are hitting you as always, like we do, with the Tuesday night flight. Tonight's show is a little bit different. We're gonna start off just like we always do, taking care of just some somber news. Um, then we're gonna get right into it after that. Take a break, kind of reset everything, and then we're gonna talk about the nominees for the 2025 Hall of Fame. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NFL headquarters shooting, and then when we close it out, your boys, Midnight Rider and Jack Carr, go one on one with Rich Eisen in his top five, the top divisions. We gave you ours last week. We're gonna add his into the mix and just talk about it and see like kind of where it all played out. Who had what? Was the same thing? What's different? What made you think this? With all that being said, we're gonna take you out of here. That's your flight plan. All right. So with that all being said, gentleman Jack Carr, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty good, partner. I'm pretty good. It's been a difficult day for the big guy. Uh, it's the 11-year anniversary of my father's passing, and I don't know. It just hit me a little harder this morning than it has in the past couple of years. Just going back through the Facebook messages, you seeing your memories and how many people reached out to me and the stories they told about my father, and then just reaching out, just reconnecting with a former boys club teammate just recently out of the blue, and he told me he coaches today because of my father. That just made me think more about this one, and that's why I'm wearing this Bladensburg shirt. My father coached over 20 years in the Bladensburg area. We were looking. I got a trophy from 1969 when he coached in the Riverdale Boys and Girls Club. I was 1 year old. So, the apple don't fall far from the tree. I coached a lot of teams I didn't have a kid on either. So I just had some wet eyes today, and I'm sure tonight at 11:39, because that's when my dad's game clock stopped. 11:39. I'm sure me and my sisters are gonna say a little prayer and smile too at the end because my dad had a good life. He was loved, and we got such tremendous memories. And then on a second note, this here goes back to the old neighborhood as well. I was notified last night that a young lady that grew up in the neighborhood, Miss Valerie Day, passed away last night. She went to Elizabeth Seton High School. Actually, was in the class with my wife. She grew up down there by Junior and Roger Hall. And Val just didn't have a mean bone in her body. She was the cutest, funnest, quirkiest girl you'd ever met. So, God bless to Val's family. I've already reached out to most of them. That sucks, man. But it's part of life. And we just carry these memories in our heart. And we just continue to keep their legacy alive by continuing to talk about them. So, thanks for the time on that, Midnight Rider. It's really been on my mind
You got
today.
a little bit more. You got a little bit more because it's funny that it's not funny, but the world works in mysterious ways. Because last night, I think you saw it as we were closing out the pretenders and contenders. I got kind of asked like, why do I do this? And I just told somebody like, after my dad passed, I wanted to do everything that I loved. And if I got to be on this StreamYard 7 days a week for at least an hour every day, I do it because I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's what I always thought I should have been doing, but I just didn't take the right path to get there. And now, after I lost my dad, I was just like, I'm just gonna leave something. So that way, even if I have like grandkids or whatever, or somebody want to tap in and just see what I do, what I love, they can just go to YouTube, type in Sideline Junkies, and it's right there for them. You know what I'm saying? They get anything they want, anytime they want. And that was the whole point of this, man. You know, just A, I get to do what I love. And then now B, you gonna just let me do it multiple times during the week? Oh, hell yeah. I'm here. But what I want to ask
Yes.
you, since you brought up your dad, and I'm gonna give one of my own, um, just a favorite memory or something that always like sparks when you're in a certain area. So like for me, when I travel on 29, there's a little cheesesteak place right before you get to the Exxon between Aspen Hill and the Beltway. And I always remember Saturday mornings after he would do his games, we go in there and he'd get a steak and cheese, I get a cheeseburger sub. Sometimes we'd sit in there and eat it, but sometimes that place was so small that you had to take it with you. And when you got home, like that was it. That was the meal. And then we were watching games at 1 o'clock because we was pushing it to get back to the house. So he could take his shower and get ready to do whatever. You got one of those? I know you do, but yeah.
Well, you know, memories, the ones that stick in my head, honestly, and I know he was a coach and a coach to me, but I take our fishing trips and stuff like that really more to heart. Playing ball just seemed natural between me and him, 1-2, but fishing, I was learning every day from him. And I just saw a friend of mine did a father-son trip to Hatteras Island. It's just south of Outer Banks in North Carolina. Fishing paradise. Fishing paradise. And my dad used to take his employees out there once a year for like a company trip to show appreciation. And we go out there and you what you do, you catch fish, you clean fish, you cook fish, you eat fish for a week. For a week. And you got to fight the seagulls because they'll come down and get the fish right off the grill. That is what is in my mind. And I've been thinking about since last night when my friend showed me her husband and son at Hatteras Island, North Carolina. So it's not necessarily sports moments with my dad, but I guess fishing, fishing is a sport in my opinion. Angling, you got to outsmart the fish or the creatures you're trying to catch. So, yeah, I'd say fishing, Minnesota, because I'm supposed to be going out next weekend, and a good friend of mine, and I always tell dad stories when I'm on the boat. It's hard not to tell dad stories when I'm on the water. It's very hard because my dad had me on the water when I was like 4 years old, with the little dinosaur fishing pole, you know what I mean, or the Spider-Man fishing pole. I was out there cranking. I know fishing and water ain't much your thing, but I was raised on it, man. I was raised on the South River down in Edgewater. I grew up in Riverdale now. We had a little summer joint. And so, yeah, fishing, man. That's what I think of my dad.
Cool, man. Glad you shared that with us, man.
Thanks, man.
No problem, man. While we're already in this path, let's talk about one of the big announcements of today. That being the passing of Ryne Sandberg. They said he was battling an aggressive strain of cancer. He succumbed to it after battling it for, I think it was like the last year or so. You know what, Jack? I'll let you lead off on this. Just memories of Sandberg. Because I think I caught the tail end of his career. Because he's what?
Okay.
He retires in what, 90?
About that, because he was in the Hall of Fame in 05. Yeah, I think 90, 90s was his big year, though. 90, he hit 40 home runs. I know he debuted in 70. Well, he got drafted in 78. Debuted in 81 with the Phillies. He only got 13 games in with them guys and went 1 for 6 in them 13. Then in 82 came one of the possibly most lopsided trades it ended up being in MLB history. They traded Sandberg and Larry Bowa to the Cubbies for Ivan De Jesus. And De Jesus was kind of already over the hump of his career, I thought, at that time. And you're getting a young Boa and a young Sandberg, and they just came in and turned it around. I think Boa ended up going back to Philly later in his career, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Sandberg, born in Spokane, Washington. You know what I'm saying? That's usually where skiers or ice hockey guys are born, not baseball players, but Spokane, Washington. He was drafted in the 20th round for Philly, straight out of high school. So it took him a few years for his debut. He was a 5-tool player, man. Power, he had speed, he had the work ethic, he had everything in the kind of player you'd want to be. I compared him to a mini Pete Rose, man, in my opinion, the way he played the game. So his career, he's a 285 hitter with 282 home runs. And at the time of his retirement, I believe that was the most for a second baseman. He's got 1,061 RBIs, 344 stolen bases in 15 seasons with the Cubs. He won the Home Run Derby in 1990. He is the recipient of 9 Gold Gloves. Bad thing was, man, the Cubs only made the postseason twice in his 15 years with them. He got an NL MVP in '84. That year, he batted .314 with 19 homers, 84 RBIs, 32 steals, 19 triples, and 114 runs. Doesn't sound like gaudy numbers compared to today, but back then, those are some numbers. He got a statue at Wrigley last year, which I thought was a bit overdue. Man, what can you say about Ryne Sandberg? Nickname was Rhino, because he would just go through walls, man, like a rhino. So I send the prayers out to his family, especially his children, Justin and Lindsay. It was amazing to watch number 23 play the second base position, man. He was a hell of a second baseman. That's what I got on my man Ryan.
Yeah, it was interesting. I remember growing up, and it was Lou Whitaker, and it was Ryne Sandberg, and it seemed like every All-Star game, they were the two guys representing their side in the All-Star game, and you always knew beside them was Cal Ripken and Ozzie Smith, and that's just kind of how I knew the baseball, or that time of baseball. My dad used to sing this thing. It was can I remember the names? You might remember this. Casey Royals had 3 Bs: shortstop, second baseman, and first baseman. It was like Biancalana, something else, and I forgot the guy at first. But he used to say it all the time, and I used to say it for the longest time. For right now, because I'm thinking about it and I need to use it, it's not there.
About it.
But let me hit this comment, and then I should get us right up to the break, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to try to hit you with some of the Pro Football Hall of Fame stuff, because I guess KG had some questions, because I think KG had 23 Hall of Famers on this square of 12 people. So here we go. Matty Ice says another gut punch. One of my favorites growing up. Yeah, I mean he was the guy, man. When I think of the Cubs, that's always the first person I used to always think about, and it was no fail, never failed. Great, one of the best second basemen ever, and the one that probably stamped our childhood, man. And with that being said, we're gonna take a quick break, come back, and we're gonna come back with the Hall of Fame. Do you have that, or do I have that?
What's that? The Hall of Fame. The photo is in banners, and
Okay.
we just supposed to select 3.
All right, cool. Here we go. Commercial break, real quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network presenting to you. It's Tuesday Night Flight. I am the Midnight Rider. He is the gentleman Jack Carr. And we are about to go into our next topic, which is the 2025 Hall of Fame class. I might need your help here because here it is. I got it. All right, there we go. And let's push us to the side. And there you go. All right, so, and I'm going to move this banner so we can see the names at the bottom.
Right.
All right, so what we're going to do is pick 3 off of what's on this board, not worrying about everybody else that could be potentially picked for the Hall of Fame. We're just using this placard right now. So don't send there and send me messages saying, oh, we want Brian Mitchell or Joe Jacoby. They not in the picture. You're going with anybody in the picture, all right? So for the last time, in the picture. If you don't see him in the picture, they ain't getting mentioned. So
if you mention somebody that's not in the picture, you get a 30-day ban.
It's gonna be like that scene in what was that joint with Kid and Play, and like you say something, they be like, oh, or do the right thing. Oh, so here we go. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, guys that are available, or I guess, available to be added to the Hall of Fame in the 2026 class. Drew Brees, New Orleans Saints fame. It's ironic that in his career, if he could have passed the physical, he would have been a Miami Dolphin. And who knows what happens there. Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, the slowest guy in the world. Jesus.
Mr. Consistency, though.
Yes. Frank Gore.
Yards.
In the words of Randy Moss, Edelnut, Julian Edelman. Greg Olsen, Sean McCoy, Des Bryant, Marquise Pouncey, Phillip Rivers, Stephen Gostkowski, and Geno Atkins. So what the goal is, we're going to pick 3. They're making us pick 3. If you have your 3 selections ready, you can go first.
There's 2 no-brainers. The first 2. Drew Brees and Fitz, man. They're both locked. I think Frank Gore, he's got the yardage and the touchdowns. And, I'm going to go off a little bit, but I'll try to throw you my 3. Julian Edelman, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 1-time Super Bowl MVP. I don't know, man. I think my 3, Brees, Fitzgerald, and Gore, with Pouncey possibly coming in too, just because he's a defensive player.
Okay, I understand Gore, because Gore, I think when he retired, was in the top 5. He might still be there. If he's not top 5, he's like top 7,
6, 7, yeah,
in all-time rushes. I'm gonna tell you who I'm not putting in. Des Bryant, no. I don't think Edelnut was. I think he has some good features and stats, but I don't think he's Hall of Famer.
Who is Geno Atkins? Who is Geno Atkins?
He used to be a defensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Really? He played in Cincinnati his whole career. He was a solid ball player, but he's not a Hall of Famer. He belongs in that. Right. He belongs in that Hall of really good or good.
Hall of good.
Yeah.
Okay. We were at Olsen.
Let's see. Yeah, Olsen. I think he's another guy that's on the fringe.
Solid numbers.
Yeah, but I just can't. I can't say. Yeah, I just can't say it. So I do all that dancing around. Pouncey, no. So I think I'm down to the guys at the top of the screen, and I think my 3 would be Brees, Fitzgerald, and I'm gonna go Jason Witten because he gave us the Blues. He should be in the Hall of Fame just off his. If you go about his Redskin stats, I think he has at least 1,400 yards and 30 touchdowns, numbers approximate against the
in
Commanders.
12 games.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous the way he played against them. Keith jumps in, the correspondent. He says Breeze, Fitzgerald, and Witten for me. Rivers and Gore get in next year.
What did Rivers do besides just put up gaudy numbers and not win?
But I mean, you can say that. I mean, you can say almost the same thing for Breeze. I mean, Breeze, luckily,
he's got a ring.
Yeah, but still, I don't know, man. I think Rivers was there the whole time. I think if I'll put it this way. I think if Eli gets in, Rivers gets in.
Who?
If Eli Manning gets in, Rivers gets in.
Eli got a ring too.
Don't matter. They the same quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I think if one gets in, I think the other gets in. I wouldn't personally have both either in, and I still wouldn't have Kurt Warner in, but that's a whole nother argument for another day and another time, because we just sticking to the list in front of us.
I liked Phillip Rivers in San Diego. He was a joy to watch, but I don't know. Like you say, Hall of Very Good or Hall of Fame?
Oh man,
and Shady.
Go ahead.
Shady had so many big plays in his career that can overshadow some other things that might not get him there, because he was a player you wanted to watch. You know what I'm saying? He was a playmaker. So Shady might do something. I just don't see the Dez thing, man. I swear to God, he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good. Now the kicker, that Gronkowski, he was a game changer for New England.
Well,
so
I'm sorry.
I think he might get in there as a kicker eventually. He won a many of games for the Patriots, man.
You're right.
I mean, they had trust in him. Hey, touchdown, Tommy, you just get me inside the 35, I'm gonna win this game. And that's
who had
the Patriots did.
But who had the more signature wins? Was it Vinatieri or was it Gostkowski?
They were both pretty much the same in my book.
Okay.
Vinatieri and Gostkowski, I thought they was twins. That's two of the same in my opinion. They both did the same thing with Indianapolis and New England.
All right, so then Matty Ice comes in with Breeze and Fitz. So it looks like everybody's stepping line there. And then his bias comes out. Of course, Edelman, because he's from the Kent State University. So Kent has back-to-back years with a guy going in the Hall of Fame.
Impressive.
Hey, everybody can dream. And in the words of Lloyd Christmas, you're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I can see Shady. I mean, I still think about the snow game in Buffalo where he's running, and it looks like the way he's running is like everybody else has to worry about the snow and not him, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
and like Olsen being over in Carolina, ain't no Carolina guy gonna get in before Luke gets in. Did Luke get in last year? Kuechly?
Kuechly? I don't think he's up.
Has he been out long enough?
I think he's up next year.
Long enough. Yeah, ain't no Carolina Panther getting in before he does. I'll tell you that right now.
I'll look that up. Let's go ahead and move on to our other topic for this section. And again, it's a little somber, but yesterday at the NFL headquarters, there was an incident where we had an active shooter on the scene. There was issues with the young fella in terms of mental issues, and the thought was he was targeting the NFL headquarters, and he took the wrong elevator or got off on the wrong floor.
Yep.
and that alone is just crazy, because that says to, I mean, that speaks in so many different volumes of it being your time. Like the people that passed away, it was just their time, and the people that got missed, it wasn't. And like, I don't know how you deal with that mentally, going back to work, knowing there was a shooter on the premises, and knowing that he was trying to target you. I don't know if you can go back to work and be comfortable. I think there's gonna be a lot of sick days and a lot of counseling at NFL headquarters the next couple of weeks. But what were your thoughts,
Definitely,
Cap?
man. Well, my main thought, this is 27-year-old Shane Tamura. Had a history of mental illness, but I just don't understand how someone can come downtown Manhattan, 345 Park Avenue, Times Square, 2 blocks away. How can somebody come down to Park Avenue with a rifle and make it inside a building to an elevator? God bless the families of the 4 killed. One of them was an off-duty police officer as well. Yeah, if he didn't get in that wrong elevator, man, this could be a lot worse. Apparently, the gentleman, he's never played in the NFL. He played high school football, but as I said, he's had mental health issues throughout his life. And what he was coming to NFL headquarters was to sue them for his CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Degenerative brain disease, actually, is what it is. My wife used to work on a brain unit, and she filled me in on a lot of this. I don't know. Those people didn't deserve to die because he didn't need to be there. This is just a whole, person not thinking right that made 4 people's families' lives horror. So, yeah, like you said, Midnight Rider, they're going to need some counseling down there at this building. I'm sure anybody who's in there is just scared to death. And it's a shame we live in a world like this. I mean, basically, this guy went postal. You know what I'm saying? That used to be the joke. Anytime somebody shoots something up, they went postal. Man, we got to stop shooting shit up, man. Elementary schools, places of business. People get pissed off and go out and just end people's lives and ruin other people's lives over their problem. I tell you, ain't nobody going to come in NFL headquarters again. I guarantee you they're going to have big security in that joint. So, yeah, it shakes me up again on a somber day for me from day one. Then I hear this. I'm tired of all the violence and the hate in the world. It's, even though I don't know these people that died, it's still gut-wrenching, Midnight Rider. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's like you go to work, you start your day, and maybe you took some liberties in your day. This is where what Maddie says when he ends his show, hits home. You got to make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, because let's say he walks out the house and he didn't say that.
No doubt.
And now you never get to say that again. And that's the hardest part of all of these tragedies that we have like this. And the sad thing is we don't have. There's 2 things that bother me about this all the time. One is it seems like every time there's a mass shooting, there's never a place where we capture the person. It seems like they always commit suicide. And it's just like
it's the chicken way out.
It's not even, I'm not even want to say chicken way out. It seems like
nobody gets held accountable.
Right. And then the other piece is, did they really commit the suicide, or did you just snipe them off? Like, what is this part of something bigger? Like now I started getting into conspiracy theories. I started throwing my aluminum foil hat on and started thinking like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Getting my X-Files mindset and just try to figure out, like, it just doesn't make sense, because it's always, they always commit suicide. It's never, the sniper shot him, or we killed him,
but we got him.
Life. Yeah. And that just bothers me to a certain extent. And it's not a moment of me trying to be insensitive. It's just, I'm just trying to make it make sense. Because you can't,
I feel
like,
you.
100% of the time can't be, you know what I'm saying, a suicide. It just got to be something else. And I don't know. And I'm gonna end it there because I'm not trying to be political. I'm not trying
Well, you
to
know,
do anything else.
Midnight Rider, speaking about the CTE situation, that, you know, it's been proven that some NFL players have suffered from this from playing in the NFL. The NFL denied it for many years that it was associated with football. And then in 2016, they ended up paying 1.6 billion to retired players to settle CTE claims. So, you know, I just don't see how this guy thought, I'm gonna go up in here and sue. But I do know how he thought that, because he was not thinking correctly. He you know, needed medication or something. It's just
You know,
nuts.
and the other sad thing about this is, I say this to people all the time. You know, we act like football is the only sport you get concussions in. You know, last night we were talking to one of the cheerleader coaches. I know those young ladies when they cheer and they have a big spill, they can have a concussion or a situation. You know, guys playing soccer, volleyball. So, like, I think the only thing that I used to always push back on people when they talked about CTE was, let's not make it only a football thing. You can get concussed in other sports, and that can cause brain damage. Because the way we did it, they was like, "Yo, just shake it off." I know I
Shake
had
it
it.
off.
Yeah, I know I've had a couple in my life. You know, one from
I've
a
had at
car
least
accident,
4.
one from getting hit in the back of the head with a pitch. So I know that, but you know, that's the stuff I just think about and worry about. But with that being said, coming up next, it's your boys versus Rich Eisen. It's the locals versus the national guy, and we're gonna talk about the top 5. I see a comment, so I'm gonna grab this before we hit the break, Jack. Um, Yep. Matty Ice, both sides politicized mass shootings. Yeah. It's sad that's the way it is. And that's the way we operate. But I mean, you know
Well,
what? I'm not gonna go there.
you know
Let's hit
what's
the break. Let's hit the break. Let's not because
okay.
I think we're gonna go somewhere where we don't want to be. I
Okay.
know I am. So I'll speak for myself and not include you in my my stuff. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The point of show that everybody, and I say everybody, was waiting for. It's going to be 2 junkies versus 1 national reporter. I don't know if you guys remember, but last week, and Matty Ice, if you in the thing, I know you did your divisions with us. If you can place your top 5 in the comments, and all we're going to do is see how close we were to a national reporter. So to start this off, Jack, let's remind the folks of what we picked as our top 5. Let's just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You do your top 5, then I'll do mine.
Okay. At 5, I had the AFC East. Everybody, that's Buffalo, Miami, New England, New York Jets. Number 4, I had the AFC North. Everybody knows that. That's Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. NFC East was my number 3. AFC West was my number 2. Kansas City, Denver, Vegas, and the Chargers. And the NFC North was my number 1. Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota. The conference that had the most 12-game winners, 11-game winners, you know, stuff like that. Had three double-digit win teams.
Who you had the NFC East at 3?
Mm-hmm. NFC East at 3. AFC West at 2. 4 was the North, AFC.
Okay.
5, AFC East.
All right.
It was close to yours.
No. Just hold tight on this. Hold tight on this, because This is amazing. All right,
Am I
so
exact?
you're 4 out of 5.
Damn.
So I have NFC West at 5. At 4, I have the NFC North. At 3, the NFC East. 2, the AFC North. 1, the AFC West. So just looking at this, I'm 2 for 5. You're 4 for 5. So you and Rich Eisen are smoking out of the same peace pipe. Here's Rich
I don't know
Eisen.
about that.
Here's Rich Eisen's top 5. At number 5, he has the NFC West. At 4, he has the AFC North, matching you. 3, he has the NFC East, matching you. 2, he has the AFC West, matching you. And at 1, he has the NFC North.
So the only one I missed was the AFC East.
Yep. The only thing you missed was your 5th.
And the thing is, I had those two flipped right there at 5 and 6.
Right.
All
So,
right, I'll go with that.
But the reason I even wanted to do that, because I love how sometimes the things we say and the things that we think, we're somewhat close to what everybody else is thinking or saying, and that's a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
that builds credibility, but it also just means that we're looking at some of the same stuff. While I'm thinking about it, let's pull Maddie up. So Maddie said his was AFC West 1, NFC East 2, NFC Central in Maddie's words. Then he changed it to the North at 3. AFC North at 4, AFC East at 5. So he matched you on 2 out of 5. He matched
flip-flop
me
on the top.
on just 1. Yeah. And then comparing Maddie to Rich Eisen, they're completely different. So he doesn't get any matches in that scenario with that. But the reason I wanted to do that is just because I just was kicking around some ideas and just thinking like, all right, so what's my thought process? What's our thought process? Are we really that close to what everybody else is thinking? Are we out here dangling in the wind and just saying just some random stuff? And we don't have any backup to it. And it looks like we're backed up well.
We ain't out here just blowing smoke.
Right. And I think that's the one thing I love about this is it's not hot topics. It's not this and that. It's we're right in the middle and in the midst of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I when I saw it, I forgot to say it earlier. But when y'all was sending me the recap and I finally got a chance to step out and look at stuff at work. Yeah. All right, Jack. I added something late. Ooh, I put it in the wrong spot. Let's talk about McLaurin real quick before we move on to something else. And it's not really an update, but I'm gonna call it that. But I want to kind of ask you a question. So right now he's holding in. We're day 6 of training camp. I think he's been there 4 days. Is there a point, since I've heard this question all day, I might as well get your thoughts on it. Is there a point where you reach the point of being frustrated with Terry instead of frustrated with the team? Or are you already frustrated with Terry? Because I remember you saying something about, him not showing up for work.
Man, the way I feel, if you show up at the park, you need to go to work. I mean, you're holding out. Hold out. I mean, I know him being at the park, even though he's holding out, is kind of good. But I think I've been saying this, man. I think this is going to get ironed out in the next 8-10 days. No, I'm not shook up at the front office or nothing. It's part of the business. And I said this a couple years ago. I just don't like the idea that you can hold out and want a new contract while you still have years left on your contract. I understand it's security, job security, and trying to take care of your family. But shit, if you seen somebody that say had a 5-year contract at an engineering firm, and 3.5 years in, they say, "Hey, Slim, I want to get a new contract. It ain't working until I get it." How is that? You signed the contract, said you're gonna do 5 years.
Right.
So that pisses me off sometimes. But it's the nature of the business. I can go ahead and say that. So don't think I'm just somebody that's behind the times. It's just it makes me no sense. You agreed to something. So Terry coming back, man. He ain't going nowhere. He loves this atmosphere. He loves this area. He loves the crowd. I mean, you seen him out there, all the kids, all the grown-ups. Terry, please sign that contract. I heard like a 7-year-old tell him that. And all Terry could do was just smile at the young man. You know what I'm saying? I know he wanted to say more, but I don't know. The good thing is Debo's having a pretty good camp so far. They say he's looking phenomenal. So,
all right, let's.
And your boy Sam is still looking good too in camp.
He is. Let's see.
Did you see the video with Debo working with him after practice?
So that's that's a regular occurrence. So
sweet.
So they did it during OTAs. They had a session. So that's why the first time I saw it. But yeah, they talked about it. Mikey talked about it in his presser today. He talked about just going against him and like just trying to learn as much as he can from Debo in terms of stems and releases and what receivers are looking for. So
right,
it's gonna be interesting, man.
No, it's you don't see that, man, where offensive players work with his team's defensive players the way he is. It's intense, and I love it. And they say Debo might be returning kicks this year.
I remember last year, because of the way the new kickoffs are set up, I thought Washington was one of the more innovative teams in getting good returns.
Good field position, yes.
Yes. And last year, I think if you remember the opening game, the Eckler return, he took it to the house and it was a penalty. And then you had that one game, I forgot I think it was a Philadelphia game, and Luke McCaffrey went crazy with kick returns, putting them in great spots. So it's another one of those situations where I think, a team can build their own luck or build their own success in, because you get the ball out to the 50. I mean, you one pass away from field goal range, depending on your kicker. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Know what I mean? And then they got this running back over there that everybody, even the front office, they got their eyes on this boy, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Bill.
I'm not sure. Where's he out of?
So he's out of New Mexico State via Arizona. So he played at New Mexico State. He transferred into Arizona. There was a bullshit ruling by the NCAA because I guess somebody with his same number logged in time at one of the first schools he was at. I think it was like an HBCU. And for some reason, they know it's not him, but they held it against him. So they declared that he wasn't eligible after week 1. So he ended up having to basically sit out the whole season. And then he got a entrance, or he got asked to play in the East-West Shrine game. And when he played in the East-West Shrine game, he was the MVP of the East-West Shrine game.
Oh, that's the boy who lost his brother in the Nolan shooting.
No, you thinking about Beck. You thinking about Jack Bech. That's the wide receiver from
Oh, what was that? 2 years ago, Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl?
No, he was in the Senior Bowl. So Merritt was Shrine Bowl. Beck was Senior Bowl. Same, you in the right year,
brother.
Yeah, you in the right year. you right there, brother. It's just you got them a little mixed up. But real quick before we hit the break, Maddie says, I just think Detroit will take a small step back. Minnesota's taking a big step back. I kind of felt the same way. He said he is fine now a week or two before regular season starts. Then the tide may turn. So that's talking about McLaurin. I think he's fine for now. But if we get 1 or 2 weeks before the season starts, I think the tide would turn when the fans will turn on him. Jack, I'm going to take that next thought of yours on the other side of this. So let's hit the break real quick, and we'll be right back. Let's try to just talk. We don't have to get into details, but after we hit your statement, let's talk a little bit trade deadline, and we good. With that being said, commercial break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back again, Sideline Junkies. We're heading in to the final haul. Bring you in for a landing on this Tuesday night flight. It's the Midnight Rider and Gentleman Jack Carr, and we're finishing out this opening session or this session of the Tuesday night flight. Jack, you had a thought, and I think I know what your thought is, but go ahead and say what you was thinking, and let's finish up this Commanders thing before we move on.
Tell me what my thought was, please.
I think you were going to talk about because the kid, Ja'Cory.
Yeah, no, I was talking about him. I'm just saying it just jumped off the screen to me. I watched a little training camp stuff this morning through videos and stuff on Commanders pages, and that boy just jumped out at me, man. The way he hits holes, and a young running back would be nice. I'm not trying to get off on B-Rob or nothing, but it's time for him to put up a shutout. Tell you the truth, if B-Rob don't produce this year, I think we need to move on.
Well, I think they're moving on no matter what.
I think so too.
And it's not even I think it's just he's a good back, but he doesn't stay healthy. He's always nicked up. He's always banged up. And I think the thing that I loved about this kid, Krosky Merritt, was every time I watched the tape, he was going to the house. And that was the best part about it. But it was always he was making a cut, he was bouncing it, like he looked. And this is not a technical term. So Matty Ice, don't start yelling at me, don't make fun of this. But he looked real running backy. He just looked real like a real running back. Like it just one of those things where it looked natural. It was a flow. It was part of his being. He wasn't thinking about the cut. He made the cut. It's like his body was just boom, boom. It's like it's almost like he was in the Matrix. And that one cut, I saw that run you were talking about where he squeezes through the hole and pops on the other side. And then he hits number 40, Owens, who I think is another person that if you got camp eyes or you want to see somebody in the preseason, I think this Owens, Tyler Owens kid, undrafted last year, made the team as a special teams ace. He's a freak athlete. Like I think he ran like a 4.3. I think he had the biggest broad jump at the combine 2 years ago. He was killing it. So I think this is one of those situations where, I think you got two young guys that can make an impression, maybe earn themselves some playing time.
Definitely.
All right, so we're getting close to that time of year. I think the other night, last night, Matty Ice, the Drive Time team, and Scooter did a really good job of talking about the trade deadline and what they thought, who they thought were sellers, who they thought were buyers. I think the market so far has kind of told us. Oh God! See, I knew he was going to say something. Matty Ice. Does that mean the kicker looks kickery? I knew when I said it, I was like, "Yep, this is one." No, he doesn't look kickery. It's two different things. But MLB trade deadline, we've seen some teams make some moves. We've seen the Mariners buy. We've seen the Yankees buy. We had the Diamondbacks sell. So we're at a point where teams are at that cusp, and you got that look in your eye. I'm gonna
What the Diamondbacks do?
The Diamondbacks moved off of who was that?
Suarez?
No, they were about to move him, but he got hit in the hand.
He just got hurt, yeah.
Josh Naylor. They moved Josh Naylor to the Mariners.
That's right.
Yeah.
The other day.
Yep.
Yeah. Suarez, I thought was the next guy to jump off, man. And he could help a lot of teams with that bat of his. My man hits bombs. So that's who I thought. And yeah, he got hit by a pitch the other night. And now he's injured. So anybody.
But the MRI came back clean. MRI and the X-rays, I think, came back clean. So I think he's still good to go.
Well, that's good news.
And Maddie, being our resident Guards fan, rumors are Quan will be dealt, and Bieber should be gone too. That's Shane Bieber, the guy that won the Cy Young, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. So, Quan, that's an interesting one because he seems like
I like Quan.
I like him a lot, but I just feel like he's that guy that he's not good enough where the Guardians can't afford him, and he's somebody that I think I would pay as opposed to moving on from. But I get it because Lane Thomas has been hurt all year, so you can't get anything for him. I mean, you might get something. It's not going to be much for a guy like Carlos Santana, who came back to play, but he's a good defensive first baseman. And you can't cheat that. And he occasionally hits the ball, but he ain't he's not putting any fear in anybody's heart when he comes to the plate. Like you're definitely going to pitch to him. So that becomes interesting as well.
Let's ask Cleveland, do they want to make a bet?
Steak and cheese on it.
That cheese steak on it, Cleveland.
No, I think
me and KG might have started that with our Cleveland Cavaliers bet. Now the Indians want to get in on it.
Okay. All right. So he said he's a Boris Climate and they don't come back to Cleveland. That's true. That's true. But so then he would be the American League equivalent to the guy with the Padres, Luis Arias. Like he's a good hitter, singles, doubles. You know, he's not going to strike out a whole lot, but he puts the ball in play, gives you options. Matty again said that was a low blow. Got me right in the nuts. Oh man.
I hit Matty up as soon as I saw this claim on Class A. I was like, oh, we got some gambling. What they doing up there in Cleveland, Matty?
No. So he's the second pitcher. And I think these guys don't really understand that these gambling places, they've got so much information on you. The second you place a bet, the second you sign up, whether it's your account, whether it's somebody else's account, and they monitor everything. And there's a very damaging 11 pitch sequence where they talk about these were the pitches that Class A put out there, and they don't look good. Like every one of them is 50. They go 50, and that's 10 short of
beach balls.
Yeah, they're not beach balls. They out. They short. They in the dirt.
Oh. Yeah.
They nuke the loose specials.
I don't know what makes them think they can get away with it. Like you just said. Oh, monitor.
I mean, they monitor. I mean, you got to think about it. They got geo tracking so they can track where the bet was set. they got the other tracker where they can see, all right, these are the bets that were made on this particular bet. And that's all it does. Is that triggers. Like they're like, oh, hold on. So he's got 11 situations where he's hit on the first pitch being a ball. Let's look into this. And then they pull up the script. I mean, the thing of the pitches. I mean, I think he's gonna be banned for life. I think this young man has ruined his career, ruined what he has as a future. He could have been a version of a great closer, and now he's going to be a guy that sits at home in his home country playing winter ball
for peanuts when he's making 20s or 30s of millions of dollars.
Right.
I don't get the even temptation to get into this betting shit. You're not going to win as much as you're making in the majors. So, I mean, I understand it's got a thing. It's competitive, betting to see if you can win. But, goddamn, when you're getting paid that much money, take a pass.
It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. I think the O's made a move today in terms of moving. I think they moved off of Sir Anthony. What is Sir Anthony's last name? I think it's Sir Anthony Rodriguez. He's a relief pitcher. They moved him to Toronto. So they made one of their first moves. I think the O's other move that's going to come either tomorrow.
They selling somebody.
I think it'll be Cedric Mullins.
I wouldn't be surprised to get rid of Mountcastle too.
I don't know if there's a market for Mountcastle. I think
I don't know what his contract is. I don't know what his contract is, but I'm just saying. Mullins has been the target of this for the past 2 seasons.
Right.
So, it ended up being Austin Hayes last year got, let go to another squad at the trade deadline. And
I think Stowers was in that.
So I just didn't think, when All-Star Week came, I think Birds were down 11. And I just didn't think they'd be sellers. I thought they would still be able to make a scrapping chance. But it goes to show you how important pitching is. But the whole league is having problems with pitching injuries, man. It's been a crazy year for pitchers.
I would second that and then add on that I think certain teams, when they get to a certain number, and I think a lot of teams, that number is 11. 11 after the break, I think they just kind of say, okay, go ahead.
Keep this. What'd you think about what happened with Manfred and Bryce Harper the other day?
Honest opinion?
I know Manfred's your boy.
Honest opinion? That wasn't Bryce standing up for Bryce. That was Bryce standing up for Scott.
Standing up for who?
Scott Boras.
Oh.
Because let's think about the contracts. Like you take Ohtani's contract, you take Bryce's contract, you take Juan Soto's contract, and you try to fit those numbers into a salary cap. That's like trying to put the ketchup back in the thing.
Yeah, you can't. It's almost impossible.
Right.
They got contracts till what, 28, I think, on this?
Something like that. So you get next season, I think 2027, don't expect a full season. Expect a holdout, expect a lockout, because I think they're good through 26. And then 27 is when the lockout is going to happen. Okay. And I think the two things that are going to be the keys is if you want us to take a salary cap, then you got to make a salary floor. So that way teams like Pittsburgh, teams like the Nationals, teams like the Marlins can't sit around here with these $60 million payrolls. They actually got to start playing up. So if the union gives in to a cap, which I don't see happening, they're going to make a floor as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think, like, I think baseball is such the wild, wild west that you let this go on for so long that you can't get a salary cap or a hard cap league now because you let it be too long. You let so many contracts happen for it to come back. I mean, think about it. If you put a cap in, like, what are the Dodgers going to do?
What the Yankees going to do?
Yeah. Like that, say the cap's 200 million. Shit, Ohtani makes, what does Ohtani make? Like 70? You know what I'm saying? What is Soto make like 60? Like, what are we doing?
Let me hear you say it, Midnight Ride. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Yo, it's just craziness, man. Like this, yeah, man.
You're right. And it's kind of like they let them go too far to reel them in now.
But the thing about it was, and this is the problem. I'm glad you brought this up because we talked the other day about the NFLPA, but the MLBPA is probably the strongest players association, and what they've always done is made sure that baseball couldn't get certain things, whether it was the steroid testing. They fought them tooth and nail for as long as they could, and then finally they gave in to that, but it took them damn near 20, 30 years for them to even give away to that or let that happen. What else? There's a couple other things that they just fought. And when I think about the NFLPA, and I think about, let's bring it back full circle, Terry's situation. Terry is holding in because the last CBA, the way the rules are written for holdouts made it impossible for players to hold out. Like Trey Hendrickson is going back in tomorrow to report to Bengals camp. But it's because the way the CBA is written, like, you used to be able to get that money back or figure something out, but now you can't get that money back. And that's the crazy part about this. And it seems like every time, and this is probably where some of the collusion comes in, and we gotta figure out a moment where we can kind of delve into that, like JC Treader and the Lloyd, whatever Lemon Pepper Lloyd's name is, and kind of delve into some of that stuff that they're accused of, because there's going to be a lawsuit, there's going to be a case, there's going to be some stuff that comes up. Hopefully it doesn't go to arbitration. Hopefully it's made public so we can see what goes on and see what's happening. But that's just my little tirade and tangent. Tomorrow MLB trade deadline. Thanks for that question though, because I'm glad you asked it, because I thought Bryce was carrying water for his agent. Like, I think when you have the guys that are probably the top 10, like you have 10 of the top 10 paid guys in the league. What else are you going to say?
I know. No, I just thought that was right up your alley. You know, you being a Hawk fan and you being a Manfred fan, I figured that was right up your alley.
You just lied. You went Mike Baxick and just threw one in there to Barry Bonds so he can get the home run record.
Yeah, through your tater.
All right, man. Shoot. Let's get to the end of this. Wrap this shit up. You got anything that you think we missed or you wanted to cover that you forgot to speak on?
When we was talking NFL, I did have a little tidbit that I found the other day. Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar. I think he's a great quarterback, a great athlete. He's the only quarterback with multiple MVPs not to appear in the Super Bowl. Other quarterbacks with multiple MVPs have won a Super Bowl. So continue to collect the individual hardware, but if you ain't getting that team hardware, what are you doing? So let's see. I look forward to an exciting season out of Lamar. Maybe one day he can get that ring.
Well, I mean, it's hard for him for that comparison because I think think about I think Pat Mahomes only year he didn't start at quarterback was his rookie year. And I think since that rookie year, every other year he's been a starter. I think he's been in the championship game every year.
Yes.
He either won or lost in the championship game.
At least, yeah. I didn't know that. It's something to look at. To win 2 MVPs, league MVPs now, and not appear in the Super Bowl. He's appeared in that damn championship game, but he can't get by them Bills. Or was it? It wasn't in the championship. Yeah, the Chiefs. Couldn't get by the Chiefs. They could get by the Bills. They couldn't get by the Chiefs. Them damn poor Bills, man. It goes back to the 90s. Damn, Jesus Christ. They just can't get over that lump. But I do expect to see a big season out of Josh Allen this year. So, God, I can't wait for football. What we got, about 45 days or so?
So we are let's see what your football knowledge is. We are Alvin Walton jersey number days until
45.
Huh?
45.
Nope. That's
45.
Jerry
40. Sellers is 45.
Yep.
40. Yeah. It's coming. What is it? September 7th, I believe.
Something like that.
This is Skins' first game.
And then don't forget, I think Thursday we got the Hall of Fame game.
Yes, we do. And that Thursday will be the Jacob Sloan. I don't know what year. It might be the 5th or 6th year Memorial Golf Tournament to raise money for the Jacob Sloan Foundation, which helps kids around the state, but a lot in Queen Anne's and Anne Arundel County with school supplies, activity fees like registration fees to play sports. The Jacob Sloan Foundation scholarships kids into that. They just do so many amazing things. And that tournament is the opening Thursday night, and they put a big old inflatable screen out behind the golf course, and we watch that Thursday night game out there underneath the pavilion. Pretty good day that Thursday. That's going to be the 4th of September.
All right. So I don't have anything else. With that being said, we're at an hour and 8 minutes. I think we're still good. I think we're still within the guidelines. But this Tuesday Night Flight edition or production from the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, brought to you by the Gentleman Jack, the Midnight Rider. We want to thank you for your comments. I hope we touched all your comments and engaged with you. We're glad you stuck around with us for the whole time. With that being said, tomorrow night we will make an announcement on what we're doing with the passenger seat. And then you got Thursday, or Friday Eve, you got the Thursday night throwdown. And then you go to Saturday with the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs, Sunday with the Sunday Rise, Monday with Drive Time, Monday with the Pretenders and Contenders. And there you go. The Sideline Junkies Network and our log of shows. And with that being said, we're going to get out of here. We're not going to hold you up. I'm going to say we ain't doing no overtime and take it from there. Good night, y'all. We'll see you later on. We'll see you tomorrow, one way or the other.